So I don't know if you know this, like maybe some really old school OG Jeromes will, but used to have a thing. It was almost a shtick where I was obsessed with the Vikings backup tight ends, whether it was AC Leonard or Chase Ford or your Cole, my Cole, our Cole, Pruitt, all that stuff. Just always, I don't know, I was looking for someone to replace Kyle Rudolph. But Josh Oliver doesn't really count because he's not really a backup. He is going to be a starter for the Minnesota Vikings. And a lot of people raise their eyebrows when the Vikings sign the Ravens backup tight end, Josh Oliver, to a 3-year, $21 million deal with $8.2 million guaranteed. And what's interesting is that his $7 million average will be 19th in the league. And it's a clear sign that they do not see him as a backup, especially since the Vikings already had Johnny Munt. They did have Ellefson at the time before he retired and joined the staff. They also had 7th-round pick Nick Muse. So shelling out this sort of coin, and you would think, Kwesi from an analytics background is like, oh, we're going to pay $21 million for a backup tight end. No, it's a clear sign that Josh Oliver is going to be a major part of this defense. And I absolutely believe it, man. Plus, I feel like he had been underutilized in Baltimore. Originally drafted by the Jaguars, 3rd round, number 69 overall. Nice, coming out of San Jose State. And he actually had a prolific college career for the Spartans. And he was actually seen as more of a receiving tight end before he got into the NFL. And he became one of the best blocking tight ends in the game, if not the best. And at 6'5", 260, he's a giant. He's freaking giant, man. And it's tough, working behind Mark Andrews. Didn't get a lot of targets, but he did the dirty work, and he did the damn thing, and he got handsomely rewarded. And also, it's great that he's buying into the culture. Woo, Minnesota Wild. Although, I do remember that his beer chug leaves something to be desired. Yeah, it happens, man. But the whole thing about Josh Oliver is when the Vikings were working in OTAs and minicamp, and it's the install of the basic vanilla package. And there was a lot of 12 personnel out there, so a lot of formations, rocking Oliver and tight end out there. And I think that the Vikings are going to play that quite a bit as they look to transform this offense. And Oliver's gotten a lot of praise from O'Connell and Phillips. This is from Sean Borman from April 29th. Kevin O'Connell talking about prioritizing tight end Josh Oliver for agency. Quote, just know he wins a heck of a lot of battles that you ask him to go fight on game day. He can go win on the edge against some of the best edge rushers in our league. And that's the thing, too, where he is 6'5", he is 260, he is lengthy, and he's the size of like a very undersized offensive tackle. Like, this is not a 6'2", 230-pound H-back tight end you're throwing at a premier edge rusher. This is a freaking mountain that you're throwing out there, which is fantastic. And then this is from the Star Tribune. Tight end Josh Oliver, ex-Ravens blocker, blah blah blah. Replace Oliver listed at 6'5", 269. Ooh. Even gained some weight. Ooh, love it, man. I was signed to block, but he got down the sideline and nearly made a one-handed deep grab during practice. When he gets that train rolling, Phillips said he's a tough cover just due to his size. And they're talking about how Oliver was tight end 1 in single tight end sets when Hockenson missed a couple days of OTAs. But, yeah, Josh Oliver, he's going to transform this offense. Now, I understand people are going to say, well, this is just off-season homerism and hyperbole. Not really. And even though the Vikings offense was fantastic last year, 7th in points, 8th in yards, I think that Josh Oliver is just going to add a very interesting wrinkle and just going beyond the 2 tight end sets, even though that's going to be a big deal. 12 personnel is going to cause mismatches like we talked about, where if the Vikings do take the field with Hockenson and Oliver in tow, if you stay in base package, they'll spread you out. They'll keep Oliver in line, they'll put Hockenson in the slot or out wide, and they'll take those mismatches. And if you come out in nickel or a sub package, we'll just get in tight and we'll run the ball down your damn throat. It's going to be great, man. And then you look at how that's going to affect Justin Jefferson, because when teams decide to stay in base after they're sick and tired of Josh Oliver and Hockenson and CJ Ham and Madison just getting yards, chunk plays on 1st and 2nd down, 6, 7, 8 yards a clip on carrying the football, and the offensive line is getting humming, and then they come out with their heavier packages, and all of a sudden Justin Jefferson, he's singled up, because it's hard to double team an outside receiver in your base package because it takes too many men away from the rest of the formation. So I think it's going to be beautiful. Also keeping Hockenson fresher, even though Hockenson, he's an Iowa guy. Like, he ain't scared about doing the dirty work, but Hockenson, even though he's an adequate blocker, he's better as a receiver, and that could free him up to do more Hockenson things, especially in the slot and out wide. Also running the ball with authority, something that the Vikings did get away from last year. Dalvin Cook had a career low yards per carry. It's not all on the offensive line, but part of it is certainly on the offensive line. And the Vikings were 12th in the NFL on third down, 22nd on fourth down last year. But what really sticks out is they're 27th in the league on third and fourth down of 1 yard or less. So when they needed to have a yard or an inch, they weren't able to get it. And also, it was just maddening when Kevin O'Connell would come out in a shotgun or empty on like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. It's just like, come on, man. And you're not going to do that with basically an extra offensive lineman out here. And also, don't sell him short. Like, Oliver, like we said, came into the league as a receiving tight end, and given his size, given his wingspan, given his athletic profile, I think that he will be in line for a red zone attention, especially as the Vikings play naturally with their heavier packages down there. I think Oliver is going to slip through, especially since defenses are worried about Jefferson, they're worried about Addison, they're worried about Madison or Chandler out of the backfield, they're obviously worried about Hockenson. All of a sudden, oh, Josh Oliver's open. It happens, man. So I'm really pumped, and I do think that Hockenson and Oliver will become the best tight end duo in the National Football League, and it's just a very interesting wrinkle added to this already great Vikings offense. And yeah, people talk about, a player that comes in and transform an offense. They always think of a receiver or running back or whatever, but just adding... I understand a blocking tight end who's basically a 6 offensive lineman who will add a little something in the red zone. I understand why it's not sexy, but it completely changes the outlook of the Vikings offense, and it completely changes the mentality, the ethos, as well as what they can do. And they can cater their packages all over the place. You can have 12 personnel. Hell, you could have 22 personnel in some games where they're exposed up front. Or the Vikings can go 11 personnel and spread things out if the other team is thin in the secondary and doesn't pose much of a threat rushing the passer. Also, so Oliver is going to do a great job protecting Kirk Cousins as well, just being basically that 6 offensive lineman, whether on the left side or the strong side, and keeping Kirk clean. I think that's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely massive, just like Josh Oliver, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Josh Oliver, underrated free agent signing, and it is going to change the Vikings offense this season. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.